Alrighty. What's up, everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, with barely any voice. Some of you like that, but fuck you, man. But I am back here with another video on a very warm Saturday morning. We're almost at noon. We're about 5 minutes away from noontime, so a Saturday morning / early Saturday afternoon video right here on the Peter Joseph YouTube wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe right now to this very channel and my other channels down below in the gobbledygook, otherwise known as my pants. So subscribe to them now. Leave a comment on the video if you like, but if you leave stupid comments, you're going to get sent to the shadow realm, and Satan will whip out your throat and then eat your soul. So please do not do that. Respect my channel and my rules. And if not, get out of here, go to your dead channel that nobody cares about, and do your shit over there. Because you ain't going to do it on mine. If you don't like it, too bad. And that's all I got to say about that. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. Most importantly, tap and slap that bell. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you do, well, you're pretty much SOL, and you know what that means. Ha! And if you don't know what it means, look it up, asshole. And that's that. If you are here for the very first time, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab yourself one of these little juicy juice to wet your whistle. Yeah, to wet your whistle and hopefully get your voice back. But I digress on that. So, grab yourself a cold one, sit back, relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great, you know, fuck off and get out of here. And that's all I gotta say about that. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is WrestleMania weekend. Finally, we have made it after a long SmackDown last night and the Hall of Fame, which lasted way too long. Way too long. I mean, Triple H's speech alone was over an hour. But it was pretty good. We'll talk about SmackDown after NXT Stand and Deliver, which is coming up in about an hour from now. So, we got Stand and Deliver from 1 p.m. to about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then the kickoff show for WrestleMania all the way from 4 to 7 p.m. And then WrestleMania Night 1 starting at 7 p.m. Opening with Jey Uso, the Yeet Man, taking on Walter for the Raw World Heavyweight Championship. And as we all know, ending the show probably right before midnight, or maybe before that, who knows. Excuse me, we got our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, taking on CM Punk with the fake-ass fuck wise man Paul Heyman in his corner, and Seth freaking Rollins to end the show. Well, we got some good matches on night 1, and then night 2, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We're going to open with Io Sky, my third amazingly hot Asian wife, defending the Raw Women's Championship against Mommy Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. That's going to open the show, and closing the show tomorrow night to put a cap on WrestleMania 41, John Cena taking on Cody for the Undisputed title. And we will see what happens with that. The stage looks like shit. I don't like the stage at all. Kind of looks like WrestleMania 24 and 29 kind of had a baby. I don't like the stage at all. Last year, I liked the X and the L. I like that. But this stage looks like a freaking hotel on top of a stage. I'm like, what is this? Feels like WrestleMania 20... when it was in Florida, not 32, but, not 33, I should say. think it was like 30 something. I forget, whatever. When they had the hotel in the background. That's the one I was thinking of, but we'll see what happens with that. And but like I said, I don't like the stage at all. But hopefully, night one, the card for night one looks better than night two. But got a couple bangers on both nights, so we'll see how both nights go. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So, we're gonna enjoy WrestleMania. We got the Mets, big, huge comeback win. They took the lead in the 8th off Luis Torrens' RBI double, but then Brosabad comes in the 9th and gives up a game-tying home run. But Frankie Lindor, the man who did it all last year in the playoffs for the Mets, hits a game-winning solo dick shot into the upper deck of Citi Field. And the Mets win 5-4. Still hold on one-game lead over the Filthies in the NL East. So, and the Yankees won. So both teams are 12-7 going into today. Kodai Senga on the mound today for the Mets at 4 o'clock. So right after Stand and Deliver, I'll be going watching the Mets. And then in between that, as we get into the afternoon, I'll be doing my WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 predictions, along with my SmackDown review. And then if I have some time tonight, I'll do NXT Stand and Deliver review, or I'll probably most likely do it tomorrow. And then I'll do my Night 1 and 2 review all-in-one video over on my Peter Joseph channel on Monday. So we'll give you some dots, you understand, for WrestleMania on Monday. And that's all I gotta say about that. Well, I hope everybody's having a great day. Like I said, 74 degrees as of right now. Supposed to get near 80 today and then kind of drop. So tomorrow's going to be about 67 to 70. Still a great Easter day. Might rain a little bit tonight going into tomorrow, but won't be a washout for all you people going in the Northeast for Easter. So, it's Easter Saturday. A lot of people some people go to church on Easter Saturday for a Saturday night Easter vigil. And then Easter Sunday, everybody goes to church. So, go praise the Lord, Jesus Christ, because he died yesterday, and then tomorrow he'll rise from the dead on that glorious Easter day, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna watch some baseball. We're gonna have a great meal with our families, and then watch WrestleMania. And we're gonna do it next year too, because WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans, Louisiana, I believe it's April the 10th and 11th. So it's early this year, not late. Like Easter is not usually this late in the year, in the spring season, but usually it's in either late March or early April. Not this late in April, which is basically almost near the end of the month already. Pretty much next Wednesday is the end of April. Not this Wednesday, next Wednesday, the 29th. No, take that back. The 30th. And then we begin May Flowers on a week from this Thursday. So we'll begin the beautiful month of May, and we'll be counting down the weeks till the unofficial start of summer. That's Memorial Day weekend. And then a couple weeks after that is the official start of summer. And I'll be here throughout the summer, and it's going to be great. But we shall see what happens with that. It might change a little bit as we get through June into July. And that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let me get to this video really quickly before we get to Stand and Deliver and I lose my voice completely, which some of you will love. But maybe some of you would just lose something else, but something else for another time. But ladies and gentlemen, on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, April the 19th, 2025, right here on the Peter Joseph channel. I'm Peter Joseph, without a voice, your tribal god of extreme. I'm a content creator talking about the wonderful world of professional wrestling and all that other good shit. You like it? Great. You know, get out. And that's that. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, as the title below says, it is time for your late, super late, so far out of motherfucking date, NXT review for April the 15th. So I'm going to go back a little bit, because this coincides with Stand and Deliver coming up in about 55 minutes. Alright, so your NXT review from the April 15th, 2025 show. And for the final time before we get to Vegas today, we are emanating from the Capital One Center in Orlando, Florida, at the CWC. And as always, our commentary team of the man with the creepy jacket and lots of candy, Vic Joseph, Corey Slaves, and the man who smokes more fucking weed than you do, and fell asleep at the Hall of Fame. Wake up, Booker T. That's Booker T, sucker. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That's that. Alright, let's get into this shindig. Let's not waste any time. Alright, we're getting ready for Stand and Deliver, so we start off with a fatal four-way match to see who faces Absolute Ricky Starks for his North American Championship. So we had Ethan Page, all ego Ethan Page, DJ Nightwolf, Eddie Thorpe, the Heritage Cup champion Lexis King, and Wes Lee. And before the match started, Ricky Starks comes out to join commentary. And they brawl to start until Lexis King gets triple teamed for an early beatdown, because nobody likes Lexis King these days. DJ Nightwolf drops all of them, and a suplex gets a near fall on Lexis King. Wes Lee takes over for a little bit, drops everyone, but then Lexis King avoids some charges in the corner, sends everyone else into the corner. And then DJ Nightwolf gets low bridged to the floor, and a code breaker in the ropes, ow, gives Lexis a near fall on Wes Lee. Back in the ring, Wes Lee puts everyone else down with a Tower of Doom spot before a running shooting star press gets a near fall on Ethan Page. And then Wes Lee hits a flippy dippity-doo. Dippity-doo. I can't even say it because my voice is about to go out. Hits a flippy dippity-doo on Lexis King and Ethan Page, which sends Eddie Thorpe into Ricky Starks. Uh-oh. And Ricky got all mad at Ethan Page, and then the referee's like, "You are out!" So Ricky Starks gets ejected. He has to go to the back, which sucks. But it is what it is. We go to break, we come back, Ethan Page cleans house, locks in a 1935 Boston Crab on Lexis King. Eddie Thorpe then puts on a crossface on Lexis King, and Wes Lee's like, "Hey, I want to get involved in this three-way, in this submission as well." He has to break up the pin, break up the tap out, because who would have won? Don't know. So, with all that broken, Lexis King gets caught in an electric chair, and then Wes Lee adds a whisper in the wind, takes everybody out, and then Ethan Page and Wes Lee battle it out until DJ Nightwolf hits a Meteora on Wes Lee, only to get caught with the coronation. Looks like Lexis King was about to win, but Ethan Page gets right back up, hits the Twisted Grin, 1, 2, 3, he pins Lexis King in under 12.5 minutes. So, it was pretty much evident that Ethan Page and Ricky Starks were going to do battle at Stand and Deliver for the North American title. And we get that. Pretty good match. 3.25 out of 5 stars for that. And we move on. After the match, Ethan Page starts taunting Ricky Starks, who comes back in and hits a mean old spear to knock him out. So we'll see what happens happens in a little bit with the North American title. I think that Ricky Starks will retain. And Ethan Page probably going to the main roster pretty soon. But we'll see what happens with that. And we move on. Alright, after that we get the start of a couple of backstory videos for the ladies in the Fatal 4-Way NXT Women's Championship NXT Women's Championship match. We start off with Jordynne Grace showing her backstory when she was fat into, and then turning her body into a world muscle, two-time TNA Knockouts champion, made it to WWE, knows what she has to do to win her first official WWE title, and that's that. Then we see, Julia, her backstory from Stardom and in Japan. We get that and how she wants a rematch with Stephanie Vaquer, who broke the internet last night. Oy, oy, oy. She put up a picture on her Instagram, basically naked. Though she covered up, obviously. But, muy caliente. But so we see Stephanie Vaquer doing a Spanish-type program, basically, hyping herself up and holding the NXT Women's Championship. And then we see Jada Parker with her gymnastics and track record. We see all that. So we got that. So that was very nice to see. Little backstory for the women for the NXT Women's Championship. We got that. Speaking of women, we got more ladies. They're in the back. They talk about how they're going to win the Women's North American title. We got that 6-way ladder match with Kaylani Jordan, Delta, Sol Ruka, Izzy Dame, and we got 2 spots left, so we're gonna get to that in a minute. And Ariana Grace is like wanting to get out of that, wants to kind of protest the ladder match. She doesn't want it to happen. Not gonna work, but that's that. All right, so we get to match number 2. Qualifying match, Tatum Paxley taking on Lola Vice. Was it a great match? Gigi Dolan at ringside. And in 10 minutes, getting to the end, the sexy running hip attack gets a near fall on Tatum, who comes right back with a running crossbody in the corner. Then catches Lola on top, pulls her down, goes with a psycho trap, it gets blocked, and instead Lola Vice hits the spinning back fist, knocked Tatum Paxley the fuck out. And she goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3, and a little fast pin there, ref. But in any case, Lola Vice essay gets the win. She becomes entrant number 5. So that's that. Match was meh. 2.25 out of 5 stars. And that's that. Alright, then once again, the women's division, argues in the back with Ava Raine. We had Fatal Influence there. We had the Meta Girls, Nice Legend, Shit Done, and Jakara Miss Jackson if you're nasty. We had JC Jane, my girl Jasmine Nix, and Fallon, don't call her Dawn Henley. They're arguing, and then Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan come in after their match, and then Roxy comes in, and they're all arguing about the women's tag team titles, and then Ava Raine makes a fatal 4-way match for the pre-show, which is going to be going on in a little bit. So we got 2 members of Fatal Influence going up against Lash and Jakara, taking on Tatum and Gigi, and Roxy, and a mystery partner who later on in the show was her former friend, Corey Jade. So we get that. The winner of this match faces whoever is the women's tag team champions at WrestleMania. They'll face them this Tuesday on the program. So it could be Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, or the champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And we get that. So that's pretty nice. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we go to the tag team gauntlet match with all the men's tag teams. So we had Hank and Spank at number 1, And we had the rookies Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igve at number 2. They get eliminated in under 2 minutes. And then we had the culling come in. We had Nico and the resident virgin Brooks Jensen. So it went a little bit longer, about 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes. And Hank and Tank beat them as Tank power slams Jensen out of midair to eliminate them. And then Catch Point 3.1 comes in, and it's Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights. They come in and promptly get beat a couple minutes later as Hank pulls Miles Bourne outside. Tank gets a fruit roll-up to eliminate them. And then the final team is the Cowboys, Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura. And they come in and didn't last that long as Hank and Tank win the gauntlet in officially under 21 minutes. So they take on Fraxium at the pay-per-view. Don't think they're going to win, but, stranger things have happened with that. And then Fraxium later on gives them a pep talk, and they're all ready to go. So we'll see what happens with that. And we move on. Alright, then we have Evolve Superstar Kaylee Armstrong ready for her main event, but Ava teases that she has a surprise for the qualifying match for the final spot in the Women's North American title ladder match. So it's not going to be Kaylee Armstrong. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we see the NXT World Champion Oba Femi arrive to the building. Dark State is right behind him. So we got that. And then we get to my favorite part of the show. We get the D'Angelo family minus my cousin. So we had Stacks, Lorenzo, Luca Crucifino, the man who lives downstairs from you, and Adriana Rizzo, as it was Stacks' call. They get into a fight with Dark State in the back, basically 4-on-2, but somehow, someway, they take out Dark State. They put Dion Lennox through a wall, fake wall, mind you. Some Evolve wrestlers get beat up during the whole fight. A fire extinguisher goes off. Luca Crucifino gets slammed onto the car. And then we see Tony D come in, my cousin. Get you a pizza for $2. Well, me, $2. You get it for $12.50. So Tony D comes in and takes out the rest of Dark State with a crowbar. And then we see cops arrive. And then Tony D starts yelling at Stacks like, "Hey, you went over my head. I don't like that shit." He's like, "You made the call. You went over my head. You didn't get my blessing," and shit like that. So Tony D tells Stacks and crew that they got a 6-man tag team match at Stand and Deliver. And Tony D's still yelling at Stacks. He's like, "Do you understand that you went a little bit too far?" And Stacks like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, Tony. I went a little bit, ahead of myself." And Tony's like, Tony still doesn't trust Stacks. I don't either. And I think today, Stacks is going to turn on my cousin Tony D. It's not going to be good, so the family's going to break up a little bit, so. I don't know if Stacks is going to join Dark State, but we'll see what happens with that. And that's pretty much it. Alright, we move on. Alright, then we get a Stand and Deliver rundown. And then we have Mr. Chase. He's in the back. He comes in. He sees Uriah Connors and, he's still alive, Kel Dixon, talking. He doesn't want to ruin their little chat, I guess. And then returning Thea Hale comes back. And then comes in and says, "Mr. Chase, you didn't ruin me." So she's all ready to win the Women's North American title. So very big surprise that Thea Hale is back. After I think she took Corey Jade's boyfriend. So we get that. Even though we did see Thea Hale in the graphic before the match. So, botch maybe? I don't know. But anyway, so Thea Hale takes on Carmen Petrovic, who got her ass kicked at Bloodsport. But she comes out with her so-called boyfriend, Ashanti the Adonis, the resident pimp. And match didn't last that long, under 3 minutes. Did I say under 3 minutes? Pretty much. Thea Hale gets the win with the Kimura lock. Makes Carmen tap out like she did at Bloodsport. And that's pretty much it. So Thea Hale is the final participant in the women's ladder match. So it's Kaylani Jordan, Sol Ruka, Delta, Lola Vice, Thea Hale, and Izzy Dame to see who is the new women's North American champion. And I'm going to go with Delta to pick up the win. I think Delta is going to get the win. And all the Japanese superstars will hold the belts. Or have held belts. So Delta will win the North American title. Julia already held the women's NXT title. Stephanie held the women's North American title, then dropped and vacated it. And then that is now the women's NXT women's champion. So we got that. So we'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we end the show with Trick Willie Shamon coming out, says he's going to win the NXT title. Oba! Who? Femi comes out, says Trick is a broken record, saying the same things he said for months. No one's singing along to his theme song anymore because the spotlight has moved on to pretty much Oba. And Trick seems ready to fight, but then bouncy Javon Evans, the young OG, comes in, tells Trick to shut up. And then he tells Trick, you're dismissed, and then turns his attention to the Huda. Oba! Ooh, Femi. And Javon says, I dropped you a few times lately, and knows it's only a matter of time before you go up to the main roster. Foreshadowing, maybe? I don't know. And then Javon tells Oba, you are a star at the University of Alabama. And then Oba kind of breaks character a little bit, goes, Roll Tide. But Javon is a kid from North Carolina, North Kakalaki. And shouldn't have even gotten to WWE. And Oba says, being champion means I am the top dog and you're just a child. And Trick's ready to fight again. He's like, come on, let's fight, come on. And Javon is sent to the floor like 2 or 3 times. And then Javon gets all pissy and springboards in with a Gilmore Kata. Bang! Lays them both out. Then he grabs the NXT world title and holds it up for everybody to see. Is he going to win? No. I think Oba is going to retain. I think Trick Willie will be going to the main roster probably after WrestleMania. But we'll see what happens with that. So, a pretty good ending to a pretty decent go-home show for NXT. And I gave NXT 7 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you people think of the show. Put the comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and comments and opinions and all that other good shit down below in the comments section. Let me know what you guys thought of NXT this past Tuesday. You leave your predictions in the comments as well for NXT Stand and Deliver coming up in about a half hour from now. So, we got all that, and that's that. Alright guys, I'm going to get ready for NXT Stand and Deliver. Should be a great pay-per-view to start WrestleMania Saturday. And then we got WrestleMania Night 1 later tonight in about 6.5 hours. So, you can watch Stand and Deliver, have our sensible lunch, take a little break, do our post-show stuff, and then get ready for WrestleMania with a good old-fashioned WrestleMania-type meal, and then that's it. So we'll see what happens with Stand and Deliver, and then later on with WrestleMania Night 1. And I'll be back after Stand and Deliver with your SmackDown review and your WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 predictions. over on my Kill Demons channel and TGC67. And that's that. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Enjoy Stand and Deliver. And that's that. So, until next time, my friends. Peace. And fix your throat. I will. I'll have a better voice, hopefully, by later on. But we'll see. But until next time. Peace.